Welcome to Tables,
Lists,
and chairs.
Why such a pause?
Well, I didn't know if it was going to go back round again after the and then I thought, I'll finish it off. We can start again.
Welcome to Tables,
Lists,
And chairs.
and well, it's too enthusiastic that time. Welcome to Tables,
Lists.
And chairs.
This is TLC, the show where we take a specific wrestling category and we categorize it and list it into 10 individual slots each, and then we're going to reveal those 10 as we go along. They'll be given a numerical point score, and then the end will determine what actually is the top 3 of today's topic, heel turns, which I really struggled with.
Yes.
Just before we came in, I took off what was my number 2 from the list entirely and replaced it with something else.
You've gone mad.
Well, okay.
You turned heel on the heel turn.
I will explain what happened because it actually is my number 10 sort of impacted why I took off what my number 2 was. I could have done 20 here.
There are so many great individual heel turn moments. There's a few I've not included. A few big ones.
We also were talking before we started recording that we have kind of all approached this slightly differently. I believe you are looking at the moment.
Yeah, that's what wrestling's about.
You're looking at the turn, whereas I have kind of got 3 different categories I'm looking at, which is the turn moment, the follow-up to that moment.
Good luck with WWE in that one, then.
And sort of my own personal bias in there of like of my favourite ones.
I've also added in the impact on the industry.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Another
okay,
factor.
yeah, that's
The
a good
secret
factor.
4th category. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Big Show. So Sullivan has got Big Show brackets all of them.
Yeah, it's the impact on the industry, just like you said.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, Ollie has got CM Punk 2009, and I have gone for Kevin Owens on his NXT debut.
Oh, that's a great
turning
one.
on Sami Zayn.
That's a great one.
I'll just quickly, because I've got a personal anecdote for this, which I think I've told on multiple shows, but, can't imagine. Like Stanley always said, every comic book is someone's first comic book. So I'm treating this show like it could be your first time hearing me talk about this. I loved this show, and I loved the moment where Sami Zayn won the NXT title, and I text Ollie afterwards, because the little graphic thing came up, clicked off the network, and I text Ollie being like, what a great show, what a great title win, loved it. And Ollie was like, yeah, and what happened afterwards? I was like, yeah, Kevin Owens came down and celebrated with him. It was awesome. And I was like, load the network again. And it turns out there was a bit more of that show that I'd missed.
I think it is the first time that the copyright logo trick was done.
It was the first time I got tricked by the copyright logo. And
Copyright logo heel turn.
Yeah, and it was. And so that is the number 2 I took off this list, which was Ciampa turning on Gargano. I had it so high on my list. And I was like, I can't have both. I can't have both of the turns like that. And
I have.
And there's one on there that
Spoiler.
but there is one I had to get on that I couldn't not have on my list.
Rather than your number 2, though.
Yeah, well,
usually you bump off the number 9 or 10.
Well, that would have bumped off this, and you can't not have Kevin Owens turning on Sami Zayn. That would be like not having the Big Show brackets all of them.
Come on. Quantity is a quality all of itself. I think we can all agree. No, maybe I'm being a little bit silly with this one. Maybe being a bit silly, a bit cheeky. And can I remember all of them? No. Can I remember only one of them? Yes.
Which is the one you can remember?
The one from Survivor Series, where he punched John Cena and walked away.
I like it. I can't remember if he turns heel in this moment when he has to punch Dusty Rhodes.
WWE realised Big Show can cry on demand.
Yeah.
And they booked him every week to do something he didn't want to do. You said quantity has a quality all of itself.
Yeah.
You know who that quote is from, don't you? No. Stalin. I thought as a Soviet-Russia scholar.
I should have known that. Yeah. I didn't know that was a Stalin quote.
A controversial start to TLC.
Quoting Stalin.
When was his heel turn?
Huge heel turn.
Arguably the biggest. It should really be number 1.
But the face turn on Trotsky was amazing.
So I've gone for Chairman Mao.
He was just a librarian, and look what he became.
This is more of a personal one.
Chairman Mao punked.
We've never seen it. We've gone through every other version.
I thought it was Chick Magnet, Cookie Monster, Chicago Made. No, it's Chairman Mao.
Punk.
Well, he's doing Night of Champions. This is more of a personal one for me. This is the first time I got into CM Punk, and it's his slow burn heel turn. But this is against Jeff Hardy. I think Punk has the briefcase, and he cashes in on Hardy when Hardy's already down. It takes like 2-3 months for Punk to fully realise he's the bad guy. He's constantly saying he's not. And then Jeff leaves later that year, and he makes fun of his drug abuse. That bit I wasn't so into, but the stuff beforehand was great character work.
There's a great bit during that heel run when he comes out on an episode of SmackDown dressed as Jeff Hardy, and the crowd totally think it's Jeff Hardy making his entrance, and then you can see the slow ripple as people realise, oh, it's CM Punk, and they cut to this lad in the crowd who's got the most 2009 haircut, who is so mad. He goes on. 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Oh!
No! Slow!
That's it. I can't believe that.
I was surprised. I thought this would be really low on my list for some people. You know, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
lovely, yeah.
look at that.
It's right at number 9, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. It's number 9.
That is way higher on my list. It's
thought
the
it would be.
Festival of Friendship with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
One of the all-time great in-ring segments.
Yeah.
And you put it at number 9.
Because part of my rankings is the follow-up.
Kevin Owens turns, by the looks of it.
Yeah, he has appeared twice on my list here. And it was going to be like, I nearly had Kevin Owens turning on Generico, like the first one they did. And I was like, it can't just be Kevin Owens turning. The follow-up to this is kind of stopped by the company itself, where instead of this being over the Universal Championship, it is just a match at WrestleMania that Vince McMahon said is one of the worst WrestleMania matches he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Which is, you know,
Also not
true.
Not true.
But it is that they just did not give this the time of day that it should have done. It gets completely undermined because they're like, Goldberg, I think. So yeah, incredible turn, incredible moment. I think the follow-up is a bit lackluster.
Yeah. I think if this had been for the Universal Championship, this would be one of the best,
Yeah.
best ever of all time for me.
The moment's awesome.
The moment is fantastic, and I also love that it's a heel turning on a heel and making themselves more of a heel.
Yeah. Is it a face
Technically
turn?
not it's
Yeah.
a face turn, isn't it, for Jericho?
Yeah.
But I
It
think
kind
Kevin
of
Owens.
is, yeah.
I think Kevin Owens turns more heel.
He turns more heel, yeah.
And you have got at number 9 Kenny Omega in 2020. I really want to get this on my list.
Yeah, for the sickos, because I like AEW. I don't think either of you got any AEW stuff, I imagine.
I really wanted to have this on my list.
You could have.
But you had to take
Was it
your
number 1
WWE
originally,
money.
and then you bumped it off?
You had to take your WWE money, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Nick Khan called me up and was like, don't you f***ing do it. I got him and Tony on the line and be like, I don't know which Khan to please.
So Kenny Omega, of course, turned heel to... Like, didn't he kick out AJ Styles? Was that the way it went? New
Yeah.
Japan marks?
Yeah. I've seen that video. I don't know how I know.
But this is the one at the end of that pandemic year. It's winter is coming, and it's the match against Jon Moxley. Sting debuts in that episode as well. It's a huge episode, one of the best they've ever done of Dynamite. And Omega beats Moxley, turns heel, sides with Don Callis and all of this. And as they're leaving with the belt, they go out into the night. They get in a cab and they say, tune into TNA to find out what happens next.
Watch Impact on Thursday and I'll have your answer.
Brilliant.
It was incredible.
Was the follow-up great? No, that's not my list.
I'd argue. I think the follow-up is great because that Kenny Omega title run's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't think it ever fully hits the potential of having all the
They
belts.
dressed up as Ghostbusters.
I don't think it ever fully hit the potential.
I really like it. And you get at that moment where Hangman is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I really love the... there are other moments.
Just talking about the Ghostbusters segment now.
Are there any other segments you remember?
Yeah. Beats Rich Swann. Not dressed as a Ghostbuster, though. That would have really put it over the edge.
There were some changes I've made.
It has to be hypercritical. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Boy, I sure am enjoying this TLC video. I wish there was another one of these that was exclusive to just me and a select few other people. Oh, there is. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where you can get an exclusive episode of TLC right now, where we rank the 10 best face turns. Here's a clip.
It was so funny.
You're going to unleash a rant from Luke now.
It's not a rant. It's just, here is why Mizdow is wrong.
No, what? No, come on.
So they keep saying that Mizdow is the Miz's stunt double.
Yes.
Mizdow just copies what the Miz does. That is not what a stunt double does.
I know. But
A stunt double steps in for someone to take moves and do stunts. He is just he's a mimic. He is the Miz's mimic.
Yes, but it's very funny.
It's very funny. He's just not a stunt double.
He isn't a stunt double. That is true. It would make much more sense if he was in the ring than the Miz.
Yeah, absolutely. He would then be the Miz's stunt double.
Yes.
But he's not.
But
So actually, it's 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we have got Stone Cold Steve Austin for Sullivan Bo Brown. We have got the final boss Rock at number 8 for Ollie Davis. And I've got the chair shot heard around the world when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield at number 8.
now that feels a bit, I know that mine probably feels a bit low, but yours also feels a bit low, I would say.
It does, but I think there are bigger and better heel turns with bigger and better follow-ups. Higher on my list. Again, this is it kind of gets bumped down. Great moments, and the reason why I kind of wanted to have it higher because it is still, the effects of it are still felt today. Like all of Roman's matches feel to be built around the fact that he can't hit people with chairs, or it's all built around chair shots and things like that. So the impact that it had on characters still remains. But Ollie and I reviewed all of this recently. We watched the breakup of The Shield and reviewed it for WrestleTalk Extra, and a lot of the follow-up is a bit pants.
Not just the follow-up, the lead-in.
Yeah, this was a snap decision.
This was booked because they had a bad rating on the previous week's Raw.
Yeah, this
wasn't a long-term plan.
It was not a long-term plan. They were
that.
supposed to turn earlier in the year. I think it was like around January time
Yeah.
they were supposed to turn. And then the Shield convinced Vince to not break them up and keep them together a little bit longer. So Vince does, but then, yeah, they have a bad rating. So he's just like, oh, we're breaking up the Shield. You're turning heel on them tonight.
That's mad.
It's like the night after they beat Evolution in a clean sweep.
That's why it's not on my list at all.
Wow.
When I watched it happen, I was like, oh, okay, you're breaking them up. I was more angry at the company rather than the booking and the characters. As an actual moment, I don't love it.
This is my feeling with this, is that like I think the actual decision to turn Austin heel.
Because just to clarify, you're talking about Mania X7, right?
Yeah.
It is madness that it's this low.
But I think the decision to turn him heel is a bad decision, and the follow-up isn't good, right? It doesn't work. It's stupid. But the moment is amazing. So it's on my list, but it's still not. I can't put it much. I can't put it that high because they shouldn't have turned him heel. They shouldn't have done it.
It does kill the business for a little while. It's a genuine heel turn that's like, this hurt your house show business.
Yeah, like it was a bad decision on every level.
The actual moment, the crowd cheer, and they're either cheering or confused. Very few people are booing.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't
in
think it's an
Texas.
That's a good
effective
point.
heel turn moment.
Ollie, you have got the final boss.
Yeah, talking of something that was always the plan, unlike your Shield breakup. Yeah, so of course The Rock came back. Should have just got the Royal Rumble shot from Cody to main event Mania, but then all of the marks got up in arms. And yet it's a weird heel turn because it's in a press conference for WrestleMania 40. I was in New York. The first time I'd ever been to New York, I was on holiday. I was watching Hamilton, the stage show. It was like the big centerpiece of our whole time out there. And I cannot wait for the intermission so I can look at what's happening in this press conference. It was on a Thursday. And it's that slap to Cody. And, when he's talking, here's my PowerPoint presentation of the Bloodline family tree with Roman. One of the all-time great heel runs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say recently, but it is like it's been a weird 2025. But the 2024 final boss Rock, at least for the first 4 months before he disappears and he comes back a bad blood for no reason, is absolutely exceptional.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Okay,
Mega
we got
powers.
Shawn Michaels, barbershop moments.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens turns on Sami Zayn in 2015, which has previously been on my list. And for me, the Mega Powers explode. A absolute classic of the heel turn.
Yeah.
Like I would argue, one of WWE's best stories ever, and a great example of why long-term storytelling can really pay off when you just take your time and you map out, I'm going to start here and we're going to end here. Not even just like the story you're telling, the shows you're going to do it on. We've got these shows mapped out here. At this show we're going to do this show will do this show will do this, and it leads to this awesome multi-year long run with Hogan and Savage that leads to the Mega Powers exploding in the match at WrestleMania.
My favourite thing about that is actually the very first angle that sets it up, which is when they're, the previous Mania, and Hogan's got Elizabeth on his shoulders, and Savage just stops for about a second and goes, and then he's back to normal. It's like, my woman is on your shoulders.
Just sowing those seeds, because that is also then why he turns heel and has a go at Hogan. He's like, I'm sick of playing third wheel in the Mega Powers. Like I'm playing behind Hogan and Elizabeth, and it is you are lusting after. He then does his promise like he was lusting after Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth. Like it is an awesome heel turn, one of like the all-time greats.
It got bumped off my list because of the Big Show gag.
Well, it's low down on my list because I don't have nostalgic attachment to it.
Yes, that's fair. Same with Shawn Michaels in the barbershop. I don't have a nostalgic attachment to that, but it is a shocking moment and it has stood the test of time. Yeah. I think it's only slightly ruined by, is it Bobby Heenan says, "Oh, I knew he was going to do that."
Fucking Bobby Heenan, man.
Why are you saying that, Bobby? Don't make it sound like this is predictable. This is meant to be unpredictable.
I was going to say, no spoilers for coming up later on, but he sort of ruins one of my heel turns that I've got on there, so much so that they've edited it out of video packages.
They should edit out, "Oh, I knew he was going to do that," from the video packages. It's a stupid line. But yeah, it's a classic moment and sets up Shawn Michaels to be like this. He's very good at being a heel. He does turn face again, I think, before he joins DX, but still, it's the start of him actually becoming the mega star.
So I went for 2015. KO and Sammy are Our Evolution is what I think it was called.
It's when they had clunkier NXT TakeOver names.
Yeah, Triple H realised there's multiple ways to spell revolution and like the little puns you can make with evolution and revolution, our evolution, for all the reasons you said. And it just immediately starts the forever feud when they get into NXT.
3, 2, 1. Sullivan was so close.
Sunset Cry.
Yeah, barbershop window at number 6 for me. Sullivan, you have got Mark Henry.
It's great.
And Ollie has got Ciampa on Gargano 2017. Which is, it's the one we just did, basically, isn't it?
What? No, what? In that you had the copyright logo appear and then take off again.
May as well just put the Big Show on there.
And they, maybe they were in a long-running tag team and then they turned on. So what? It's good.
It was
just run
great,
it back
though.
with two other guys.
It was incredible as a turn. My favorite thing about that turn is obviously Ciampa's great in it. It's Gargano like pouring at him to almost be like, "Are you sure? Like, I still love you." And like they did it from like the Cruiserweight Classic. They built and built and built and built, and we basically just spent the whole time waiting for the turn to happen. It's so great.
Yeah,
I love this. The Hall of Pain speech is fantastic. It's so unexpected. Genuinely.
Salmon suit Henry.
Yeah, and he was just like, he absolutely could have just retired at that moment. It was actually believable retirement, and like now it's kind of ruined a lot of retirement speeches.
Yeah, Edge is the next year. Like I think it's the next year. Yeah. Everyone's like, nah. He's gonna spear someone.
It's ruined retirement speeches and salmon suits. No one can wear one on TV ever again. Oh, we know where this is going.
I think that's it. It's like, this is just so unexpected from a wrestler who I think everyone sort of thought, well, that's their limit. And then they went to a whole new level.
He sells it so good.
Yeah.
Like, Henry is exceptional. But for me, I got the barbershop here because this is, you want to talk about a heel turn that has created parlance within wrestling. What is your barbershop moment? Who is the Marty Jannetty of a tag team? This is like, it's not just an incredible heel turn that leads to making a top star out of Shawn Michaels. It's created like a wrestling trope.
Yeah. It was the name of a sort of Smart Mark merchandise store back in the day. Barbershopwindow.com. That's where I buy all my t-shirts from.
If anything, it's actually given Brutus the Barber Beefcake some relevance.
And sadly, not Marty Jannetty.
He's the third most important thing in this.
A window.
Sorry, the fourth one. 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Oh, wow!
Look at that.
You are matching up a lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
look
I
at
was
us.
not. I thought this was going to be my really controversial entry on the list.
No, yeah.
No way.
What, that it's too low or
Yeah.
too
Yeah,
high?
too low.
Too low. I thought
Yeah,
this was going to be
yeah.
one. I thought I was going to have to like really eke this one over to be like, I'm sorry, I've got John Cena turning heel at Elimination Chamber 2025 at number 5.
Yeah.
But so have you.
Yeah.
And you've got CM Punk at Raw 1000.
Yeah, it's the main event angle. Otherwise, terrible show. Again, you can go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk and watch me and Luke review the full thing. The finish is Punk versus Cena. Cena's cashing in his Money in the Bank title shot in advance. Punk has a few moments where he kind of thinks about turning heel in the match because, of course, Big Show gets involved. He's a heel at that point. He's a big threat. But then The Rock comes down to... Why?
Well, to stop the Big Show.
To stop the Big Show beating up Cena, and that's when Punk explodes out of nowhere. You think he's gone to the back with a lariat, and he turns heel on The Rock.
Yeah, it's because Big Show comes in and causes the no contest because you can't have Cena lose.
No.
That'd be ridiculous.
Can't put over the WWE champion in this point over John Cena, so DQ finish. Cena at number 5 for you and I. I actually said this to editor Kieran as well. I was like, I'm worried that this is going to be low and I'm going to get really crucified. But I've got people like you, Sullivan, so they won't be too mad at... They might just be mad at me for doing it, but not you.
Yeah, well, you really up here.
If it was just based on moments, probably number 1. At least in the top 3.
Yeah.
Because it was like an awesome moment. Actually, quite a decent little build-up and good intrigue with, the I want your soul, Cody, the moment when they hug and then, Rock does the throat slit and Cena's face goes,
Yeah.
and it is a brilliant moment. What it's led to is Cena doing an awesome first promo, then doing the same promo week after week, having one of the worst WrestleMania matches in the history of time, having a feud with Randy Orton that was based around family, and then the match itself, his family do not get involved, and tagging with Logan Paul.
Yes.
And...
Well, the best thing that has happened since then is that R-Truth came back.
So, nothing to do with him.
Travis Scott.
I sort of
Yeah.
included that within like the worst WrestleMania main event.
He was right there in that heel turn moment.
He was
He
there.
was. Actually, that is...
He buffed Cody.
I do forget that he was also part of that.
Yeah.
Why are you there?
I hate Travis Scott.
Well, someone compared it. They said recently, like, it would be like if Busta Rhymes was in the main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon when Steve Austin turned heel. I was like, no. The better example is if Fred Durst is in the ring with them because he did the theme song for WrestleMania. Fred Durst there being like, hit him again, Steve!
And you would have loved that, Luke. You cannot deny you would have loved that.
I feel like it's the best moment of all time.
It would have been the best WrestleMania
I mean, we
moment
still
ever.
have not had Steve Austin turning heel on my list yet. Also, it's still in progress as we're recording this. We're only like 3 months in. Like it happened in March. We're recording this at the start of June. So we're only like 3 months into this like turn. We don't really judge it until it's over.
If they can turn it around, then great. But yeah, I totally agree. As a moment, it could have even been my number 1.
3, 2, 1. It's not on my list, but that's a good shout. Roman Reigns for Sullivan Bo Brown. Which time? Is it the time when he won the Royal Rumble? Ollie Davis has got an incredible pick that was on my shortlist. The Rock at Survivor Series 1998.
Yeah, I've only actually got 3 different people on the whole list. The Rock being one of them.
And I have got Steve Austin at WrestleMania X7. You've touched upon this already, and I would agree. The only thing my reasoning for having this up higher, I've got the nostalgia attachment to it, which is where it bumps it up in my personal bias thing. I think it is an incredible moment. That it's a weird crowd reaction because they're in Steve Austin's hometown. I don't think that's what they were looking for, so it doesn't quite work on that level. What happens afterwards? The 2-man power trip with Triple H, not great because it's Austin trying to work out what this heel character is. But then there's a moment, and it's after Triple H gets hurt, that Austin's like, oh, it's a comedy thing. And he leans into the comedy aspect of the character with the hugging of Vince and I love presents. And, taking all this, as the Attitude Era podcast always talk about. And having gone back and rewatched the Invasion Era, I have reevaluated it. I hated it. I didn't like it at the time. But I think Steve's one of the best bits of it. And this mad, paranoid character that he's got. Maybe I should have this lower on my list because it also does give us birth to What. And, that has ruined wrestling for the past 24 years. Mm-hmm. So, shame on you, Steve. Really, it's Christian's fault. But if I can, because this was on my short list, it's the best. It's my favorite Survivor Series ever.
It's the greatest thing Vince Russo's ever done.
It is genuinely the best thing he's ever booked.
It's a self-contained one-night story of a tournament in 1998 for Survivor Series. Deadly Games!
The Deadly Games!
And the whole thing is it's going to be Foley. Foley's going to turn heel. Earlier in the night, Rock catches the Big Boss Man's baton in one of the coolest moments ever in wrestling. But yeah, it's The Rock who becomes the corporate champion and sides with Vince and Shane and everyone.
What I love about that tournament is that you go into it thinking, oh yeah, the corporation have picked Mankind, so they've given him the easy path through this, whereas The Rock has got the deck stacked against him. But once the turn happens, you go back and watch, you're like, oh no, The Rock was given the easy path, and he's given all of the easy wins to get through to the final, but you just don't notice it until it's actually happened.
It's great sleight of hand storytelling, yeah.
This hasn't got the moment, really. Like, you unless you count panning out to see Paul Heyman a moment.
I think that's the moment for me.
Yeah, that is, I suppose, the moment. But it's even then was kind of unclear. It wasn't fully sure, like, oh, he's definitely back as a heel. But I think this is one of the best heel runs. Maybe ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably. I very rarely felt like they were going in the wrong direction while he was still champion. And actually, you know what? He's transitioned to being a babyface really well, I'd say.
Does he turn babyface?
I'd say he's a babyface. He's a babyface for me. I love him. I love him because I feel like he's the same character, but I now really want him to do everything.
Hasn't apologized.
Has not apologized.
Yeah, he does
anything.
not give a but I love him now.
Probably doesn't feel like he needs to. I did nothing wrong.
For me, he is a babyface at this point. I wanted him to win the triple threat, and I was happy the way it all worked out.
But you called it when he first returned. Ollie was like, that's a heel turn. And I was on the stream being like, no, it's just Roman being a badass. The most heel thing about him is his veneers.
Well, he had heel teeth. That's how I knew. As a testament to how good that heel run is, our best face turns list. I think I've got 2 people from his faction turning face.
I also have that as well, yeah.
That, like, he's such a good heel, he can make other characters.
Yes.
That's patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where you can watch that. 10 best face turns TLC right now.
3, 2, 1. Oh, bit high. Ollie's got the Festival of Friendship in at number 3. You've got the Shield breakup in at number 3 for Sullivan Bro Brown, and I've got CM Punk at Raw 1000. All entries we've had previously on the list. So yeah, love this turn. I'll just echo what you said. It's so good. Love that he turns heel halfway through the run as well, because now he's incorporated that into his character of being the WWE champion. Like, corrupted me and turned me into a bad person.
I didn't know this was unplanned.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was unplanned until we did the series.
Yeah.
I'd listen to WrestleTalk Extra if I were you.
Where can I find WrestleTalk Extra?
Yeah, but patreon.com/WrestleTalk.
Oh, wow. I'll have to sign up to that
Hundreds of
later.
hours of content exclusively.
Because that is crazy this is unplanned. Because I've just seen this as a moment. I wasn't watching wrestling at the time, so I just saw it as a moment and then feel the impact of it now. Like, the fact that it's still impacting wrestling now is crazy to me, and so I felt like this must be a very, very well thought out.
It was the mega powers of its day.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the moment itself is very, very, very shocking. It's sort of like the air gets sucked out of the room almost. It's sort of like it's the long running impact, and the fact that they're still making very, very good references to it, even like Sami Zayn doing the chair shot on Roman Reigns and the camera shot being basically the same. It was fantastic. Those things. Seth Rollins coming in and getting punched instantaneously as he comes in dressed as the Shield. I think we wouldn't be in as good a state in wrestling today had this never happened.
I love this angle because when was it? 2017?
Yeah.
Raw was bad. Raw was so bad. It was these two feuding with, was it Seth and Roman? It was Roman and someone. It was Roman and the sordid babyface.
Yeah.
And this was all through November, December, January. And they were the only funny thing. They were the only good thing on Raw during that time. And then they have this Festival of Friendship segment. It is a masterpiece of dramatic irony. The whole thing is building up with, I've got this present. You can tell Owens is a bit off. And then Owens is like, I got you a present as well, Chris. And he just opens the package, and on the back it says the list of KO. All the audience can see it, we can see it at home, and he just goes, why is my name on it? Taking something as stupid as Jericho's, you're on the list, and turning it into one of the most powerfully emotional moments you're going to have in a friendship.
Yeah.
Oh, I still think it's one of the best in-ring segments any company's ever done.
That line, why is my name on the list?
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and like I'd love the list as well. The list is just a great concept leading into it, and the whole like build up to it was so perfect. And it's such a shame about afterwards because
Goldberg.
like that's a beautiful moment. It would have been a great WrestleMania match. Oh,
Well, it was. Unless
was.
you're Vince McMahon, of course. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Okay,
disgusting.
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 Sullivan Bo Brown with Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
And Ollie has got bit high. John Cena at the Elimination Chamber 2025. And I've got the final boss. You want to talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat? They had that episode of SmackDown where The Rock came in and was like, it's going to be me versus you. And Cody's like, yeah.
Right.
So I'd be like, I guess I'll do it at SummerSlam then. And then you get like just 7 days later, you do that press conference.
Yeah.
And it's what an incredible pivot. The most interesting Rock has been in WWE since 2000.
Yeah.
And it's such a good heel turn that people who are kind of disillusioned with the product now keep saying on podcasts like, do you remember how excited we were this time last year? Do you remember how exciting it felt? Like, I need that back again. People clamor for this.
This was real. This was real. And this had an impact on the industry that you got to remember my fourth secret subject because of his real life actions. And you know what? He has kept on that heel run in real life ever since.
Because you've said his heel actions in real life. What you're talking about is Survivor Series 97.
Yes, yeah. I'm not talking about any pending legal disputes he might be in right now. The whole Attitude Era, the thing that every single wrestling fan looks back on, is down to this moment. And Mr. McMahon's horrible heel character is a great heel run.
It kind of mirrors what we were talking about with Steve turning heel at WrestleMania X7, where you watch him in real time try to figure out what this heel character is. The early Mr. McMahon heel character is very much like, he was the eloquent talker of like, Mr. Austin, I don't think this is the way that we do business here in the World Wrestling Federation. And it's over time he then becomes the Vince that would be the on-screen character of just like, you're fired, like that Vince. And he just slowly over time figures out what his heel character is. But I suppose it's not a heel turn. Because was he really baby? I suppose he wasn't. He was just a baby.
He was just nothing.
He was just a commentator.
He was a neutral man.
So is it a turn?
Yeah, it's a turn from neutrality. If the Swiss joined the Nazis during the war, you call that a heel turn.
Come for the wrestling takes, you stay for the history lessons. That's TLC. Cena in 2025.
Yeah, well, I when it happened, again, I'm talking about moments here, we were all like, well, this is the joint greatest heel turn of all time. Let's see how the follow-up goes, because maybe it will beat the Hogan one.
Yeah.
But obviously the follow-up wasn't as great, which is why it's a 2. I wonder what we all might have at number 1, seeing that it's not been mentioned so far.
Well, I've not had the Big Show on my list yet, so there's still time.
Which one?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, there it is. Very good. Well done. Well done.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot for the sake of old lang syne? See, we do know the words.
We knew the words.
Well, no,
all of us.
I didn't, because is it never brought to light?
No, it should
brought
old.
to mind?
Yeah, brought. Yeah.
Okay,
should
so
old
I still don't know
acquaintance
the
be
words
forgot.
then.
Never brought to mind.
Which is fine, because no one does. So yeah, we've all got at number 1. We've all got a number 1. Hulk Hogan, Bash at the Beach, 1996.
Yep.
But whose side is he on? Whose side is he on? Fucking Bobby Heenan. Talk about blowing the finish, Bobby. And I get it. It's within Bobby's character, because he has always been anti-Hogan. So it's like, it makes so much sense for Bobby to do that as a character. But you can clearly tell that historians who have the editing powers take that line out. It's like, you know what the other one they always take out of, like, from video packages is when The Undertaker debuts and Roddy Piper shouts, "Look at the size of that ham hock."
Yeah, it does undercut it a little bit.
Exactly, yeah, because it's like this imposing figure and he's talking about ham. But that for me it's the ultimate heel turn, an industry defining, an industry changing, a heel turn, the effects of which you can still feel today.
This is one I've seen so much in recap packages, and it's sort of like it's mythologized, isn't it? As the founding of the Monday Night Wars, really.
Yeah.
That's when it kicked off and started. I guess, you got the Mr. McMahon one for Survivor Series, but really it's that's needed because of what Hogan did in forming the NWO. And then it just got better the more people they added.
It also created the trend of the cool heel.
Yes.
Of these 3 guys who are like, we're heels, but we're going to win all the time and we're going to look super cool about it and sell loads of merchandise.
Yeah.
And actually, really, when you think about it, we are the baby faces.
Yeah.
And it's... Hogan obviously he calls them the New World Organization in that opening promo. They adjust that. And it's like the NWO design, that logo is so iconic, and it's such an incredible group.
And it pushed WWE to do new things, and like, I mean, Austin, does Stone Cold Steve Austin as a character exist in the same way that he did if the NWO doesn't exist?
Yeah, because he was a heel that people started cheering because it's actually kind of fun to cheer the bad guys and not boo them.
Exactly.
Of course, it then has the ramifications of then your good guys are lame. So like WCW then becomes the lame brand. Eric Bischoff used to try and claim that WWF were the 3rd most popular wrestling organization behind WCW and the NWO, because they were supposed to be a separate entity from WCW. Yeah. So Eric Bischoff would say like, oh yeah, they're 3rd in the rankings. No, they're 2nd.
It's not how this works.
I think it's the only heel turn as well that's had actual rubbish trash for American viewers thrown in the ring. In our list.
Oh yes, on our list. I was going to say,
list.
did you see when Bully Ray joined Aces and Eights, and the fans pelted that ring with rubbish as well.
But that's how detested it was by some fans.
Yeah, a fan tried to get in the ring.
Yes, of course.
Fan tried to get in the ring. Scott Hall had to kick the shit out of him. I've got the results.
Ooh.
There was not my microphone there. A lot of debate around here, a lot of calculating going on, because this has been one of the more varied lists that we've had so far. So I will now reveal the results. Nope, it's the other way around.
Big show.
It says here, Chairman Mao Punk was robbed. But at number 3 with 14 points, it's CM Punk at Raw 1000.
Yeah.
At number 2, it's John Cena at Elimination Chamber with 21 points. And at number 1, it is Hogan Bash at the Beach with 30 points. Steve Austin at WrestleMania X7 does not make the top 3.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because of you.
Well, some of them didn't have
I
Punk at 1000.
True.
Yeah.
Neither of us
He
had
made it
Roman
on
Reigns.
the top 3.
Yeah. Seth standing on the Shield, it's not on the list.
Yeah.
I think those top 2 are definitive, though.
Yes.
Hogan and Cena.
Yeah, I'd say
number
so.
1 and 2.
Thank you for watching this episode of TLC. Please do subscribe and leave a comment down below with what are your favourite heel turns from the history of professional wrestling. And hey, look, there's a video on screen right now. Go and click it and watch another TLC. Stunned and appalled that this is
that long. I
This
know.
is
That
so
I know.
low.
Yeah, I know.
What on earth have you got above this?